Hi, Angela Gurley from AngelaGurley.com, Mobile Marketing Mama. I'm going to be sharing some great stuff with you on my YouTube channel, so please make sure you go down below, click the button to subscribe, and also click the bell to make sure you get notified when I do. So, I have a question for you. Do you experience overwhelm? And my guess is that you would answer yes. All of us experience overwhelm at times. What I want to talk to you about today is how to overcome overwhelm when it rears its yucky head. So first, I think we need to understand how we get overwhelmed and what things cause us to get overwhelmed so that we can avoid and maybe sidestep even experiencing overwhelm in the first place. But we also want to discuss that when overwhelm comes, how we can overcome it. So first, I think one of the reasons we get overwhelmed is that our expectations are set very high. Now, there's nothing wrong with having high expectations, believe me. As a mom of 8, I expect certain things from my family, I expect certain things from my kids, I expect certain things from myself. And that can really cause some angst, right? Part of the angst is just wanting things to be perfect. We want our kids to act a certain way when we're out. We want to have things look a certain way, have our toys picked up, have everything in its place when we're at home or at work or wherever we are. And so there's nothing wrong with having our expectations set very high, but we also need to understand that maybe everybody else's expectations in our life aren't quite the same. So we need to also kind of understand what we can settle for today, because that can help reduce the overwhelm that we may be feeling. Another thing, and I'm going to tell you, being a mom of 8, I do this all the time. I take on way too much, right? I have lots of things that are always going on with my family, but then I may take on extra duties at school. I may take on extra duties at church. I will say yes to projects with the Girl Scouts that are a little bit too much. And maybe you're doing the exact same thing as well. So you might want to take a look at some of the activities that you're doing. How do they make you feel? I know that I was doing a lot of great things. I learned a lot. I was doing PowerPoint for services for quite a few years, and it was great. I had the opportunity to learn so much about PowerPoint that I never would have been able to do now that I can use in my business. But it started to feel like an activity that was heavy for me, and it started to become overwhelming because it was an every week thing that had to get done. So I find that when you start to feel something that you don't enjoy quite as much, maybe it's time to let go of that activity. We also put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get everything accomplished, to have our kids in sports, to make sure they're getting their homework done, to getting those projects done at work in a timely manner, to having the floor swept every day and getting the clothes folded and put away right away, having an empty sink before we go to bed. We get too much pressure on ourselves, making sure everything's done and in its place and going the way it should. We also don't want to give up control. I know I'm one of those people as well, and maybe you are, that you don't want to ask for help. You want things done a certain way. So instead of asking somebody else that won't do it quite the way you would, you don't let go and you do it yourself. And I find that I do that a lot. Not asking for help, not gaining, not giving up control, because I know the way I want it done. And so it doesn't always have to be done the way that we want it done. There are lots of other ways. There's not really, of course, any right way necessarily to do anything, right? It's just our own way. So maybe we need to let go of our own way and let others experience being able to do things too. And a big one is comparatitis, or that's a word I'm kind of inventing, but we compare ourselves to others. Comparing ourselves to others can create such overwhelm. Why am I not able to do this video so great? We compare ourselves to someone like Mark Harbour, who's done videos for years now, or we are not able to write copy like Diane Hockman, that writing emails where she draws people to her. We compare ourselves to her. But if we go back and look at where they started, you won't be so overwhelmed. Maybe you're comparing, when you go over to your friend's house, she's got everything in place. We're saying, wow, I wish I could do that. We start comparing ourselves to others, we really set ourselves up for overwhelm. We set ourselves up to fail. The only person we need to worry about comparing ourselves to is ourselves. How can I get better than the person I was the day before, right? Because when we start looking at how others are handling things, we may not understand that maybe our friend's mom comes over and helps clean her house, does her laundry, and puts it away, right? Or the person who, again, has been writing copy, has been doing it for years. We want to be going into something our very first day as if we've been doing it for years like someone else. So let go of comparing yourselves to others and be happy with where you are. Be happy with what you're accomplishing and doing. That will, believe me, help you let go of so much overwhelm. So since we've kind of talked a little bit about what causes overwhelm, I want to discuss with you a little bit about ways that we can overcome overwhelm. So how can we overcome overwhelm when it comes to us? Now, first, understand overwhelm is created by ourselves. We create our overwhelm. And sometimes our overwhelm is just a feeling and a thought that we have. So if we recognize that we're feeling overwhelmed, then we can start taking steps to looking at what's causing it and overcome it. So number one, we start feeling overwhelmed, step out. I'm going to tell you, when I've got tons of things to do, things are going on, stepping out is a great thing for me. Sometimes when the kids are arguing and I've got dinner to make and things going on, I just have to take a time out. I have to take a time out. Yes, I take a mommy time out. I take a time out from my business. Sometimes I go for a walk. Sometimes I just go meditate and close my eyes for a few minutes, take some very deep breaths, and get myself back on track. That's all it takes. Number two, understand what's most important to you. Is having a clean house really, really important to you? Having everything in place, perfect, and where it needs to be? Or is spending time with your family, taking an extra moment to say hello to somebody that is maybe having a bad day? Prioritize what's important to you. So if there's something that's pressing that needs to get done, put that at the top of the list. Take it in little chunks. Get it done. Number three, journaling. I don't know about you, but sometimes I have so many ideas, so many thoughts, so much information going on that I'll say, I'll remember that. And there's nothing worse than saying that. Go write it down. Write down how you're feeling. There's nothing more cleansing than writing down, or even you can do a video journal. It doesn't have to be written. To release those thoughts, and let them go so that your brain can focus on other things that it needs to. When we're so focused on what's causing us angst, or focused on what we've got to do next, or what we've got to get at the store, and we don't write it down, it causes our brain to go on overload. So release that and just write it down. Record it. Make a video. Journaling can really help you release a lot of feelings. Give up control. Yes, give up control. So, you want a clean house. Do something extra. Have somebody else come in and help you get those extra deep cleans that you need. Invite the kids, like I did this week. Empty the dishwasher. Help fold laundry and put it away. Don't think that you have to do everything yourself. Maybe you're trying to set up your blog or create a header for your YouTube channel. Ask for help. There's lots of great ways to do that. Fiverr.com has some great experts and people who have been doing some of those things for quite a bit of time and really are gifted and can do it so much quicker. So stop beating your head against the wall and let somebody else help you. Again, ask for help. Don't let so many things going that you can't. I mean, I'm like, oh, I'll make sure I can get everybody where they need to go. Since my girls have come home from college this summer and my son's had extra practices and other things that have hit at dinner time, I'm like, hey, do you mind running him over to practice? Don't be afraid to ask for help and things that can make a huge difference for, your sanity. Ask for help. Number 6, create boundaries. So sometimes we allow people in that can cause us angst, or we've looking at our email all the time because it can be a time sucker. I mean, I don't know about you, but I get like 100 emails a day. So say, which ones do you read? Eliminate those ones that you don't. Only allow those messages that really speak to you in. Don't be looking at your email all day. Spend time, set aside 20 minutes to go through your emails. Eliminate the ones you don't want. Take a couple of minutes to unsubscribe during that time frame. Are you building your business online? You don't need to spend all day on Facebook connecting with people. Set aside some time to do that. Set aside some time to read. Set aside some time to for yourself every day. So don't let things outside suck you in. Set some boundaries up. Sometimes you have to say no to things that other people may be asking you to do. It can really make a huge difference in your overwhelm. And number 7, shut out the noise. Now around here it's kind of hard. And as you can see, I'm outside shooting my video because right now there are 5 kids in the house on computers talking back and forth. And noise can get so overwhelming. Sometimes we want to just sit and relax and do mindless things. We may turn on the TV, watch videos on YouTube. But sometimes we need to just quiet the mind. I think that we get so stimulated, so overwhelmed from things outside that we need to just sit quietly. Maybe it means taking some time to meditate. Listen to some jazz or classical music to quiet the mind. Just slow things down. Pick up a great book that you're reading. I'm about to start The Slight Edge. I've read it once before. It's such a great book. I'm so excited to get back into it again. But pick up a book, something that just makes you feel good. Maybe it's going and soaking in the bathtub with music and candlelight. But take time for yourself and just get quiet. Number 8, and I'm going to tell you I'm very guilty about this, but have a bedtime ritual so that you can get to bed and be rested. There's nothing worse than having overwhelm come because you're so tired and have too many things going on, and when you're tired, you can't handle when things come up, things that you might feel are a problem or an issue. You just can't handle them the exact same way when you're tired. So make sure you're getting great rest. And one of the great things to do to end your day just before you go to bed is to either have a thankful journal or a grateful journal, or just focus on gratitude. Think of 5 things that you're grateful for that day before you're drifting off to sleep. How great would that be, that when you go to bed that you're focusing on, I'm grateful that my husband is a hard worker and provides for my family. I'm thankful for the teachings of my mentor. I'm thankful that my children are doing great in school. I mean, those are just some examples, but there are so many more ways to be grateful. I'm grateful that I'm alive today. I'm grateful for my health. So guys, make sure to focus on gratitude, because I'm going to tell you, the way you go to sleep typically is the way you wake up. So if you're focusing on gratefulness when you go to bed and you're just have those great thoughts, it really helps start your next day great. So I hope these tips were really helpful for you in knowing when overwhelm comes, that you can have some ways to overcome overwhelm, but also understanding where our overwhelm comes from can make a huge difference too. So guys, again, go subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be sharing more great marketing branding tips with you over the next several days. So go subscribe, click the bell. Look forward to seeing you on my next video. Bye guys.